See, alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem B'Kakadash. We say that man's apostle, and Allah's agreement, and Ruah teaches our apostle in truth. And we say salutations, so they are coming to the push within our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season after season. We say Shalom. And once again, going into our video here, and this is basically touching upon some news. Right now, before I read some of the news, I'd like to bring forth the scripture. Let's see the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It said this, know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Right? Perilous times shall come. And when you look at the word perilous, it means hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh-faced, savage. It says perhaps from G5465 through the idea of reducing the strength, difficult, that is dangerous. So the difficult times, dangerous times, and that is what we're heading into. No matter where it is you turn, right? You think you might escape. You know, you're hearing about the wars, and you think that might not affect you. Then an earthquake, some natural disaster take place. Then if you escape that, then it has some disease happening in the midst. If that ain't happening, you're seeing something else. You know, we in those, as I said, troublesome times, those dangerous times, those perilous times that we are in. Right? Because when you look up the news, you know, this what I have up here, you know, I just went on the news page and I type in earthquakes, right? Let's type in earthquake because I wanted to do a video on the earthquake that happened yesterday. Because with that earthquake, there are other countries it happening to as well, but they're seeing an increase of these disasters happening. Right? You know, even on the island here, we had a mini tornado. That is something you don't hear in this country. If you hear about that, that happened like I believe the last time we had something like that was close to like 2006. Right? Now we in 2025. Let's show you how long it is. And it happened back to back. Back to back it happened. Right? So we're seeing, you know, this place getting judged, right? But we in those perilous times, and something, you know, Jakes on here might think that they wouldn't be affected by war, or they wouldn't be affected by certain things happening to a different side of the world, not knowing these things are coming here as well. You're not going to be exempted from the judgment that taking place. The Lord mentioned the things that He going to send unto the wicked, you know. The things He wants to send for judgment to take place, right? Whether it be earthquakes, uproars, wars, pestilences, you know, the apparitions, you know, all these things being sent, right? Right, so we in those perilous times, those dangerous times. So going into the news here, it says water begins receding in part of Philippines after strong earthquake and tsunami warning, right? It says 6 killed as major earthquake strikes southern Philippines, right? 6 killed as major earthquake strikes southern Philippines. Now, if you've like can't remember exactly who said it, but I can't remember if I was reading it or if I was watching it, and they was talking about how even the natural disasters of the earth is so right now it's so sudden, you know, it happening more and it increasing, but it's so sudden at any time. You see, I believe it was America that had a big tornado, I think one of the biggest ever, and they had no record of it happening or it forming. It just happened overnight, you know. They saw these things again. There's perilous times, and it goes to show that hey, you're going to be judged. You're going to things going to happen onto you from every angle. When you think you escape one, there's another waiting fear, and when you think you escape them two, there's another one waiting fear, right? Because what the Lord says, just let me go to it here. Let me go to the book. Matter of fact, let me go to Second Ezra, right? Second Ezra, chapter 9. And let me read from verse 1. He say, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right? There's no. Matter of fact, let me read 2nd Ezra chapter 8. Let me read from verse verse 59. 2nd Ezra chapter 8 verse 59. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught. So it say what? So it say what? Thirst and pain are prepared for them. Right? It say verse 6, it say, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. It say, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not showed me. So you wouldn't the exact time, but he showed them what? The multitude of the wonders, to say, which thou will begin to do in the last times. And that's what we're seeing, those things that the Lord said he would show at the last time. So we're seeing what the signs, the things that the Lord said would happen in the last days, right? But let's going back up a little bit. That we said, thirst and pain are prepared for them. Pain, that is what coming all the way. There is nothing good to come out of it. That is why when you watch to every part in the world, every sector in the world, you're seeing something happening, some sort of great pain. Rather it be war, you're seeing places going through famine. Even in the Caribbean here, in the Caribbean, these people have gone years without experiencing some sort of calamities. Or even though we might get a little bit of storms, a little bit of earthquakes, I know that even one of the ways, let me see if I get that here, that the Lord say you go visit, right? Let's see the book of Isaiah chapter 29 verse 6. It says, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire, right? And that's how you're going to be visited with these things, right? These people believe that they're going to be exempted from the judgment to come. No. The Lord say he's going to bring it's pain unto them. Pain, right? You're not going to be, these Jakes have a concept, an idea, a belief that, things are going to get better. No, things are only going to get worse, and that is what we're seeing, right? Every single time you watch the news, you're basically seeing things happening in an increase, things speeding up, things fast tracking. But we were given signs to show the times we are in, and we're not in no good times, right? And we're not going to go into no good times. You see in the digital ID being talked about, you see them talking about the RFID, you see them talking about the crashing of the market, you see them, they see in Venezuela, America heading into tensions, right? Or in tensions already, and they prepare, Venezuela preparing for attack. America, they go into attack, right? These are the things we see in the midst of us. And that is going back to what statement I was making before. The people on this side of the world, they in the Caribbean, the only thing that they have been experiencing is like small hurricanes, earthquakes, to the fact where, the people in the Trinidad here, we never really get a storm. A hurricane, right? The hurricane usually pass and go up. We get the little outskirts of it, right? But we never get a direct hit. So they made a statement, right? The Trinis made a statement that God is a Trini because they have never been touched. So they make a statement, God is a Trini, nothing will come unto us. They end up in that kind of mindset, I remember a scripture in the book of Jeremiah that says, where has the Lord pronounced this evil unto us? And he pronounced it in the book. It's there. Right? It's there. He tell you the things that he going to bring unto you. That way he say, that is what the Lord say he do what? For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. right? Thirst and pain. The Lord telling you wait is prepared for you all. For you all to continue to live in sin, continue to make fun of his name, make mockery. These are the things coming your way. Right? These are the things coming your way. So that way when I saw the earthquake, I was like, it goes to show, it says at 6.3. And what you 6.3, right? It's a earthquake of magnitude 6.3 strikes Philippines, and then it had a 7.4. So was it back to back? Yeah, most likely it was back to back the gate. Right? You see the tsunami water is also 28 minutes ago, 6 killers, major earthquake strikes southern Philippines, right? And even in the midst of that, with all these things happening, let's go to the page with the news, right? You see Trump going to have his meeting, right? Taiwan talking about enemy threats, right? Right, they say talking about peace, but as I say, peace. There is no peace with this man, right? Yeah, let's watch. Watch so much things. War, death, pain, chaos, calamity. That is where you're seeing when they continue to go down. That is where you're seeing they're trying to parallel peace price in it, but there's no peace. There's no peace upon this place, right? So going back to the second of just 9, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, and I think, and then measure the time, and I measure the time to the signs, but we were given the signs to tell us what the time that we are in, right? And we just not in no good times. No matter how much time you try to, these jakes here, they try to say, things gonna get better. We in good times. Nah, this is just for a short period. No. That way, say to measure though the time diligently in itself, right? Because when you diligently measuring the time and diligently watching, you seeing what's going on, you would know that, hey, you had to get yourself right. You had to change your ways. Turn back to the Lord. Repent. Right? What the minister said a week ago, some days ago, she said what? The world is in a time of uncertainty. You don't know what could happen at any particular moment, or what time it could happen, or what day. It's just that the way how everything uncertain is just that what? 1 minute things good and the next minute it's bad. And there's a lot of ministers and public figures speaking like that, mentioning these things. Right? It say verse 2, it say, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. We read the Isaiah 29. The Lord show you some of the ways you could visit this place. We also seen in the midst of it, we've seen so much of chariot sightings. A video I saw the other day was a meteorite coming down and a chariot come on top of it. It was shared on some of these news sites here as well. I don't know if I could find it here. But when the chariot coming in on top of the meteorite, it changed its course. Scientists are puzzled because they have never seen that before. They want to know what caused this thing to change its course. And then in the video they show, well, what is this basically? What is this circle light? This light over it? It showed up when the meteorite changed its course. So you see the presence of the Lord in the midst. Right? You hear them talking about the tree atlas. They're saying things flying around it. Right? But there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff happening every single day. Let's see verse 3. It said, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, are we not seeing that right now? Every single day you're seeing a protest. Every single day you're seeing some place getting overthrown. Right? We see some of the biggest things the other day was like Nepal. We're going in America as well. I saw a video yesterday with them breaking down or storming Black Rock buildings. The protesting on the streets. I believe the UK had like millions of people came out to protest. Right? right? But it said, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and we there is showing you the signs of the time that we are in. If you go back years before, right? It could even if you Google the site, sorry, even if you Google the sites that they use to keep records of earthquakes throughout history, you would see that we have this. This is the first, like they're saying, this is the first time in history we have seen so much happening on a daily basis, right? It says verse 4, it said, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Yes, so the end is being made what? Manifest. Right? That is what we're seeing. The end is being made manifest. Right? And manifest, it means to make what? Plain, make it evident. Right? Make plain and make evident. So it's not like how people has used the term manifest for, but is the end is being made plain unto us, through the signs, through the things that are happening, knowing the time that we are in, right? We see in every single day that this is just like when you check the time, 4 hours, right? Right, 4 hours. Right, this is another one that I do a video on. Right, the tech billionaires seem to be doom prepping, right? Billionaires, they're preparing for something to happen, but a poor man telling you things gonna get better. And who it is the poor man look up to? Don't he look up to this rich man? With Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, the Rothschilds, and then speak, right? These poor people, they listen. They're hacking, right? But how they hacking with this? Basically, them preparing for doom, doom prepping, right? Because they know something gonna happen, and they themselves is part of it gonna happen, right? So it say, for like us all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So yes, the end is being made manifest. I say, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings in effects and signs. Right? So the endings in effects and signs, and what we see in the ending of the same way you can see the ending of Esau kingdom, right? You've seen it, you see literally seen it. Right? You see me, you see the end of this place, and we know obviously it's not like how some people teach you world gonna blow up on the earth. No, it's not that, right? But we see in the time that we're in, again, you look up the news, you're seeing things like all these tech billionaires seem to be doom prepping, right? Because they're hearing so much talks about countries with tension with each other. Norway, Russia, Ukraine, Venezuela, America, Trinidad in the midst of that, Taiwan, China, right? UK, Germany, what's from Australia? We can't forget that side. All sort of stuff happening, right? A bunch of stuff. Hey, and when we this spread because once again, Rome born again. America, right? Watch this. Watch a picture. Some people ask. When people ask, what do you mean? You seen it here? You say on Trump's desk in the Oval Office today, lay a plan for the triumphal arch to be built across the river from the Lincoln Memorial. So yeah, the arch. Go and look up what the arches used to be. Right? Right? Rome. All again. And this person published with noticing. Let's see. Right? So yeah, let's know the time, know the time that we are in. Right? Know the time that we are in. Right? And Trump gonna make an announcement soon. I believe it's in a little while, maybe some hours from now. It's a National Guard troops seen patrolling alongside local police in Memphis, and that is the next thing. You seen him setting out what? You seen him setting out the police. I believe he also wanted to get rid of the Insurrection Act, or he wanted to put the Insurrection Act in place or something along those lines, right? So you get more power. Hey, 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 we in perilous times, dangerous times, time of imminent danger. Right, so with that, once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say that once Apostle Elijah Brim Musa teaches our apostle in truth. And we say salutations, so I come to the push with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season. Of the season, we say Shalom.